And you're breaking cultural norms. You're breaking generational tradition, right? You're doing this incredibly beautiful process. You're changing the world, not just yourself and not just your family, right? If you zoom out from your life, the choices that you've made, those are changes for humanity. They're not just for you. Like, I get emotional saying that. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Hello, beautiful, wonderful souls. So good to be here with you. I'm loving the start of summer. It's getting exciting. School is wrapping up for the kids and getting ready for just all the goodness and abundance that is the summer. It's the time of really expanding ourselves, letting ourselves go for the big dreams, for just allowing ourselves to receive, right? We're so good at giving and not so great at receiving. So I invite you to open yourself to receive all the goodness of the season, all the goodness of the light, of the heat, of the beauty that surrounds us. And as we dive into our call today, Chandni is here with us with a desire to heal her relationship with her 9-year-old son. She feels like she gets quite dysregulated in her parenting and really feels the ancestral wounding that she's carrying and this deep wisdom in her, which you will see that becomes apparent as we talk, of how she already knows and how she has done so much to move through the ancestral stories that she has been born into. And our conversation really gives you an example of how we know a lot, and yet we don't give ourselves credit, and how we are in this place where we're almost waiting for someone else to give us the answer, even though we know that we think that someone else knows more than we do, and that if they tell us, then it's valid, or then you can make the decision. Yet, what we see in this reading is how powerful it is when you decide, when you claim your life and all the things you are working towards. And in this, right, really lives your powerful intuition. And you see that you already have the answers to the questions. They're already here, and your deciding is what brings them closer to you. It's what gets you out of your mind and gets you into the wisdom of your heart. And this reading also brings to light this idea, right, of finding the courage to change our cultural, societal, generational, ancestral stories, patterns, programs, all of it, right, that gets handed down to us, that we're here to help through evolution to clear. And for a big reason, so that we are not handing it to our children. if we're going to change the world, we have to start with ourselves. We get to be the change. It's no longer okay to continue handing down our traumas, our wounding, everything that happened to our family lines. It has to stop with us if we're going to make a difference. And I love how Chandni is on board for this, and she is doing it, and she's willing and has been willing through the path that she's been walking to do it differently. And then now she has taken her own journey and she's turned it into her life's purpose. And it's really beautiful as this unfolds. We also, through this reading, look at how to build a relationship with your spirit guides and really leaning into this idea that they're always here to support us, and how we have main guides that are with us for our life, but yet we also have other guides that come and go as we embark on different sections of our life that are here to help us with specific things. And we also touch on depersonalizing doubt and collective stories, which is something that I talk about a lot on this podcast, because we really have been trained to think that it's mine. This belongs to me. This is my self-doubt. And yet, my loves, it is not yours. We share everything. And what you are feeling, especially when it feels overwhelming and it feels too much, is not just yours. And so in this depersonalization, we can breathe, we can see something different, we can disconnect ourselves from this entangled structure of programming and belief that we are caught in. So enjoy this incredibly powerful reading with Chandni. Hi, Chandni. Welcome to the podcast. How can I help you today?
Hey, Sarah. Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. So today I would love to get a little bit deeper inside the relationship between me and my 9-year-old son. We feel to have a lot of resistance going on between us. Like, we both are very deeply connected to each other, but there has been, at least in the last, I would say 5 years, 4 or 5 years. So I got a second kid in the mix. And that kind of changed things for us. So I think that's something that is kind of showing up, where he does evoke those kind of emotions in me, where I get super dysregulated really, really quick. And I've been doing a lot of inner work and things that a parent could do to kind of get their nervous system in check. But it seems like it's much deeper. Seems like it's some form of ancestral trauma or something that I'm dealing with, that I'm up against. I had this with my own mother, still have it. I don't know, like there's something going on there. He's also feeling a little unstable in the form of like he's questioning his own gender at times. And that has been, of course, very hard. And we just don't want to, of course, give an answer, yes or no. We just want to let them be. And that's been our strategy. But I think that has been one of the really big, I don't want to say issue, but like, the questions that we all as a family, like me, my husband, and him are kind of together questioning and helping him and supporting him.
Thank you. That's beautiful. As you're talking, what I see is in you, initially, we'll start with, is you're showing me your heart and your head, and how there is quite a disconnection, that you spend a lot of time in your head questioning yourself and getting caught up in beliefs and programs that are swirling around you. And you're forgetting how wise and intelligent your heart is. So as I share that, what do you know about that in yourself?
I've been kind of feeling this for, let's say, the last few months or years, I would say. It's almost like overthinking. I just kind of like live in my mind and I'm looking for answers outside of me. It feels like somebody's going to tell me and then it's just going to click and then I'm just going to know it. I'm definitely lesser in my heart than in my brain, my mind, where I'm just like, oh, gotta do this, gotta do, what I mean? Like all the things I can do and all the things that I can learn to tackle it better.
Yeah, and I can feel anxiety rising in you as you're talking. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta fix this. I gotta fix this. Somebody give me the answer.
That is so true. That is so true. It is definitely an anxiety. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is something to do with like my own relationship with my own parents. It has been really amazing childhood and everything, but growing up back home in India in the 80s, like it definitely felt that I had to, it's almost like shut down certain parts of myself because they weren't allowed. I don't know, like I wonder if there's something to do with that where I wasn't able to almost like bring my whole self even to recognition of my own, right? Like in the sense, like I do remember times where I had to basically say, like, that doesn't exist. That's not me. That's not what I want. I want this because this is what is allowed. I wonder if it's very similar to like, I'm just kind of carrying that and I'm kind of passing it down to my own kid, him being my firstborn. Yeah, I don't know, like maybe that's something that's in the mix. I did marry in a very interesting circumstances where my parents weren't on board for the longest time. So I married a white guy. Coming from India, it's kind of frowned upon if you don't marry in your community, right? So it took a while for them to come on board and I got pregnant. And that's when actually they came on board. They're like, oh my gosh, okay, well, this is happening. And then it was very rushed and everything. It took a while to welcome my husband into the family and everything. But with the kid in the picture, it was almost like instantly, like everything is fine now. So I wonder, like those energies of almost like resisting. And then, of course, me just going forward and doing it for them. I don't know. I don't know what really happened in that moment, but I wonder if my kid is carrying like that weight.
Yeah, see, you're very intuitive. You do know things.
Thank you.
You don't need the answers outside yourself,
Mm,
right? Like you hold the wisdom inside you for your family, my love. So it's important in India to have a son. Am I correct?
yes. Yes.
Hmm. And so it would make sense that that changed your parents' view on
Yeah.
your situation and your choices because you were able to give them that gift.
Right. Yep. Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. I agree. And it's very common in these circumstances to like, oh gosh, okay, actually they're serious about this, they're having a kid. I wonder like how I can, like, I know I'm going to get there. I already know that, like to be with my kid. And I'm definitely showing up very differently from my own parents, where they were almost like shushing my feelings. And I'm allowing my kid to just basically show up as they are. So I know I'm on the right path. But yeah, the self doubt just shows up again sometimes. And I keep telling it, like, don't worry, I got it. But it's something that I think maybe just I have to just be comfortable with that it is going to show up because I care so much.
Yeah. And you're breaking cultural norms, you're breaking generational tradition, right?
Mm,
You're doing this incredibly beautiful process. You're changing the world, not just yourself and not just your family, right? If you zoom out from your life, the choices that you've made, those are changes for humanity. They're not just for you. Like I get emotional saying that.
yeah, no, so true, so true. I'm definitely breaking down patterns and things that this is the way to do it. And most of my life, not, I would say most, I would say definitely in my 30s, like it's almost like a theme in my 30s. Like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this because I don't want that. Be it, parenting my kids, being it marrying somebody that, I shouldn't have. And being it now at this moment, I got laid off last year and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going back to corporate. And that has been a thing with my parents again. I was like, what? Your education and all of this for nothing? And I do feel them from where they're coming from. But, I've been here. I have been in the corporate for a long time. I've done this. It's time to move on. So I'm actually at the cusp of starting something new, be a coach for women who are like immigrants from India who just show up. They leave their home and they show up in another country and they are just basically, they somehow just like expected to just know everything and perform again, right? Be it at home, be it at work. And I would love to serve those people.
I just have a huge smile as you're talking, like really seeing you taking your life path and your experience and what you've walked through, and then turning around and holding out your hand to the women that are coming behind you and saying, hey, I've walked this road. Let me help you. Let me take your hand and show you how it's possible. There's so much purpose in there, my love.
Thank you. Thank you. And it does. And it's been a couple of years that I've been sitting on this. And then this layoff happened. And I'm like, you know what? I wanted time, right? Because my whole excuse was, I don't have the time. I got kids. I don't have the time to do this on the side. And guess what? The universe gave me the time.
Yeah. And I want to celebrate you for taking it, because not everybody does. The fact that you said, okay, that is a big deal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, it took a lot of courage. And also my partner, my husband, who has been super supportive. There are so many days I'm like, man, thank God I married him. Yeah, he gave me something that I couldn't give it to myself. And he gave me something that my parents couldn't give it to me. Sorry.
No, all of you is here. All of you is welcome.
Thank you so much for recognizing that. But yeah, I'm so glad that I'm like over the hump and I'm actually now in it. Like, even though it's pretty recent, just 3, 4 months ago that I decided. But I really hope that I'm able to actually help those women. And like you said, I'm just like a little bit like 10 years or 5 years ahead of them. And I would just love to make their journey a little bit easier, a little bit, even though my journey is very different from theirs. But thank you.
Yeah. So where would you like to go?
There's one thing that I've been following your work, and I've been getting just really intrigued and curious about my own intuition. And I know that I have felt it. I've felt it in my life before, just like meeting the people that I know I'm going to be with for a long time, or even like buying a house. Like, what I mean? Like, I just get those kind of really strong intuition in the moment, like the first time I kind of literally meet them or see them. I wonder, how can I get to know my spirit guides? Really would like to be in that energy while I go on this course of either helping these immigrant women or helping my kid through their journey of gender identities. I would love to be really true to that. I don't know if you see my spirit guides. I wonder like how I can just get to know them and say thank you.
Yeah. So our spirit guides are always around us, right? And the way that I have experienced knowing them is to create a relationship, right? Just like any other relationship, that it takes time, it takes effort, it takes attention, it takes love, it takes all the things. And on my journey, meditation, really carving out time to sit and practice connecting has been really, really helpful. The other thing is what you're doing, right? Where you're acknowledging that something other than you is present in your life and that it's supporting you. And rather than negating that or questioning it or shoving it off as circumstance or coincidence, you're saying, no, this is actually the spirit realms. This is actually the unseen world that is laying over my world. And that strengthens your ability to interact with it, and therefore its ability to interact with you. There's also, right, like how when you were talking initially, where there is a wisdom in you, like you had an answer, right? I didn't give you the answer. But because you're spending so much time in your head and you are in this more frantic anxiety place, you're not able to hear your inner wisdom. So, really carving out time to find your center, to be present with yourself. And also, really recognizing, like, there was something else you said too about the doubt and how moving forward anyway and saying, like, you're doing it anyway. I can't remember your exact words, but do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes, in the sense that I know the answer, that it's going to be fine with my journey with my kid. Like it's going to be fine because I'm already there. Like I'm already doing the hard things, that showing up as a parent, right? Like I'm allowing the emotions. Like, yeah, so it's going to be fine. I already know it. But again, that self-doubt shows up on some days.
Right. And so, what I would offer there is to drop the word self because it personalizes it way too much. And what I have learned, what I have experienced is that there's a lot more collective thought and consciousness swirling around than mine, right? Like I'm existing in it. And yet there's doubt swirling everywhere on this planet right now. When you say self doubt, you're taking that collective doubt and you're saying, oh, I'm going to hold this for a while. And that's why it feels so crazy, almost like you can't manage it because it's not all yours. It belongs to 8 billion people. And then here you are saying, oh, it's my self doubt. And I'm like, not really.
Wow, that's such a shift.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
yes.
Yeah. So if you want to play with your doubt, I imagine it's very manageable. You have tools for it. You know what it sounds like. Like you can just be like, oh, no, thanks. And then you're just back on track. But it's when we really get hooked into this collective field that it's just anxiety and unmanageable and too much. And we forget our center.
Mm, yes, that's right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. Yeah, because I've been dealing with a lot of that with like a ADHD brain, that I've just realized that I have it because my kid has it. You know how you sometimes you go through your kid's kind of diagnosis and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I do that. And I realized that I sometimes, time management, like, all of that, like just like going with the flow of anything, like, okay, I'll do this. Oh, okay, I'll do this now. Yeah, I do feel that I don't have a lot of control over my attention, but I think meditation would help with that too, right? So just bringing me to my center.
Yeah. I would even caution you, my love, to get too attached to that label of ADHD.
Mm, okay.
Right? Like, don't give your power away to a label. Great to have information, great to be able to access resources to move through things, but don't give your power away. You are an incredibly wise divine being. Your mind is just really out of practice of staying present. And that is a problem in humanity at the moment.
That is so true. Yes.
Hmm. So to move forward with that, like holding it in a way that's going to empower you, not disempower you.
Right. Right.
And your son, too.
Mhm. Okay. That is huge because I think, yeah, going with the labels on, then they're like, of course, solutions for those labels, right? So then you have to go after the solutions once you know, okay, this is it. And that has been really, really, really demanding on me and my husband. So I think that's something that, yeah, we need to look beyond that label.
Hmm. Like, what's the truth? What's the essence? What's the heart, right? Like, bringing it back to that place that you know. You know so much more than you're letting yourself believe that you know.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to try to
Mhm.
remember that.
Well, rather than try to remember, I offer you the invitation to really commit to it, to create a devotion around it so that you don't just leave this call and then you're off back in that world again, right? But to really take these things that are resonating with you, take this experience that you're having and create a practice around it, create something you're devoted to and anchor it into your world, anchor it into your day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I think that really is the key because these are all great thoughts and ideas until I implement them. 100%. 100%. I have one last thing that I'm still curious about is like my spirit guides. Do you see them or can you tell me more about them? Or is that something that I get to explore myself?
How about both?
Okay, let's do both.
Okay, so when I tune into you, I see So as you're mirrored across from me, on my right, your left, I see two beings, two guides, and they are the spiritual teacher type of guides. And they tend to be in the behind us, right? Because they are supporting us in our growth and walking with us. And you have two. And the way they present to me, they're very light, they're tall, they have on tall hats. I'm trying to see, like gender wise, they're leaning towards the masculine, yet there isn't really gender, right? I get the sense that they're leaning towards gender because there is a place where there is a need for a masculine support for you in a way that you didn't get when you were young. So there's that thread on that side, but I wouldn't say that they are men, right? They're just holding more of the divine masculine for you.
Got it. Thank you.
And then let's see who else wants me to see them. So you also have a guide that is here with you right now. So those two teacher guides, they are more with you like as part of your soul family, right? Here with you for a longer period of time. And then we have guides that come in and out for specific purposes. And you have a guide that has come in. She is of the more feminine aspect, and she is here to help you with your purpose. She's here to walk with you as you are on this new endeavor and wants to bring wisdom and like an energy of faith and commitment that you're not walking this path alone, right? Like you're reaching out backward to the women that you're bringing with you, and she is like in front of you, reaching her hand to you, saying, I got you.
Thank you. Oh, wow. That's special.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank them every day. Thank you.
Yeah, they know they're very, very happy to be part of your soul family. And they're saying, they're like, don't take yourself so seriously.
Okay. That's good to know. Thank you.
Mhm. I did want to circle back around because originally you came on the call wanting to know about your son and how you can heal from this or support him. And there is some guidance and some wisdom coming through for that if you would like.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. So you're right about there being ancestral tendrils coming through, right? You are breaking a lot of the tradition that was expected of you. And you are not just leaving what your parents wished for you, but you are walking away from what a whole culture expected of you. And so the way I see it is it's threaded through you and then out through your son. And especially because he is a male child, right? He is expected through a cultural, this is not personal, right? This is a collective cultural field. There's certain things that are expected of him. And he's not okay with that. Like as a soul, he's like, I'm done with this. This is too much to carry. And I see that as being part of his gender identity questioning, because as a man, he's expected ancestrally to carry this tradition, this set of beliefs forward. And he's like, no, they do not serve the world. They don't serve humanity. I don't want to hold them anymore. So he's questioning what's his gender, because maybe if he moves over to being a feminine identity, that he can let go of some of this masculine identity that's being handed down culturally and ancestrally to him. So,
Wow.
right, it's creating a question in him of who am I? What am I here to do? And how am I going to carry this into the world? So it can be really helpful for you to do some energetic ancestral clearing work, create an ancestral altar, cut ties, see where you can clear some of the trauma bonds things like that. It might be an area of growth for you, of starting to reach out and ask your spirit guides, hey, show me some resources for this because we really need to clean this up. And that will help with whatever he chooses to move forward, right? It could change his decision, it could not. We don't know what his soul has chosen as his life path in this particular regard, but we can support him to not have to carry that load because it's heavy and it's big.
Yes. Wow. Thanks for sharing that, because I think that has been my experience too, very similar, where I'm carrying this load of, oh, behave like this, do these things, and all the should have, And now my kid is also kind of, yeah, a wonder. Yeah, it's very so similar, right?
Mm-hmm. So the deeper you go in your healing work, you will affect and change him, right? Because we're all interconnected, and you also are connected through a generational line, which threads directly to him. So as you heal what you are carrying, it will lessen on him as well, because he's not also carrying your stuff. You've worked with your stuff.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. What are you taking away from our call today?
I think I'm taking away from the call is that the power is within me, and I have way more, like, I don't just acknowledge myself, like, which I should daily, that I have way more wisdom, way more power inside of me to actually make changes in my own physical world, be it my kids' life, even like, my own like journey of coaching. I just feel really empowered.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Wow.
you. That's what this world needs, right? Is more empowered women who are going
Yes.
to change things that way.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. This was amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome, my love.